All right, folks, we're back, and you have no idea how happy I am. I am sitting in the same room on the same set with royalty. This lady right here, to me, is probably one of the best journalists that's been in this town in many years. And I'm honored to have her here with me today. That is Miss Katie Lachinsky.
Hello. Well, I'll tell you what, that just made my day. I'm done. I can go home and go to bed.
Kelly, since I first read the first thing she did and saw the first thing she did, I've just been impressed by your work. And when Light Tube and Peahead Productions partnered up here a couple months ago, a lot of the things that you were doing on the air disappeared.
Yeah, they did.
And Chris and his bunch back here are working on the sports channel. And so all of a sudden, where's Kelly? Where's Kelly? I can't find Kelly. Kelly's not doing anything on TV. So we found out through the Vine that she is doing a podcast now.
I am.
That is getting very good traction.
Thankfully, yes. I hope more people, and thank you for having me on, I hope more people find out about it.
Well, just tell us what you're doing.
Well, as you mentioned, I had gone to a conference, and a lot of things are changing at TUA. About a year ago, we got a new president, and there are a lot of good things happening, but it's changed.
Right.
And the partnership with Peahead was one of those changes. And at the initial outset, we sort of turned it over to give Channel 6 to you, and that felt like they pulled back on our news programming and our talk shows and cooking shows and the things that I had been doing. And then it was just a funny coincidence that my boss came to me and said, "Hey, we want you to interview this person. We want you to talk to them." And I said, "Well, we're not doing a talk show anymore. How do you want me to interview them?" And I don't know, to put them in front of a camera, just to do it like a podcast. So I took that idea and I ran with it. And I have come up with a weekly podcast that has news and interviews. So I tell you a little bit about the week's news for the week that has passed. Then I interview someone in the community that is doing something important, whether it's a nonprofit or maybe it's an upcoming event. And then I let you know about the upcoming events for the weeks that are ahead of that podcast, while you still have time to make reservations and get tickets. I try not to do it like right when it's going to happen. So and so far it's getting a good response. So.
Well, I'm sure it is, because you're probably the best at it that's around here.
Well, I've got 30 years of experience doing it. I mean, I started off in radio, local radio, doing the news.
And where was that?
Well, I was at DFZ, which was before it was renamed back to WJIG.
Right.
So that was back in the 90s. I was on the morning show on a fantasy radio, which I think now is the Rooster. So Kelly L, if anybody remembers listening to Kelly L on fantasy, that was me. And I've done news on that, and I've done, of course, the Tullahoma News, which I worked all the way up to being the editor there, and a whole lot of press awards during that time, and learned a lot, got even better at it. So this is sort of the culmination of 30 years of experience in news and interviews. So.
And something else that a lot of you might not know, if you're not involved in the art scene around here, and performing arts particularly, is this lady right here is absolutely drop dead exceptional on stage. And what was the last one that you were in?
Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias, yeah.
And
what a perfect, you and Rosie Graham had more fun. That had to be fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
It translated to the audience as fun.
Oh, good.
It really did.
We had a good time with that.
And that big booming voice of yours is just outstanding.
Well, the six of us have maintained contact. We're going to take a girls' trip in the next couple of weeks. That was really a nice group of people.
Oh yeah,
it worked out well.
Heavens, yes. Well. How are we going to get this, what you're doing, on here?
Well, actually, the thing is, you can see it on Channel 6. It's a little bit delayed because I do a video version of it, and it goes onto YouTube on Thursday afternoons. But we do programming for Channel 6 on Tuesday, so it starts on Wednesday. So it's almost a full week delayed. But it is on Channel 6.
Okay.
I think it runs at 5:30.
Okay.
If you want to see it when it's new and fresh and has the most timely information, you're going to want to watch it on YouTube at
Sure.
TUA LightTube. Or you can just listen to it on your car. That for me, drive time podcasts are the best. So
Right.
I put it on Apple Podcast, it's on Spotify, and it's on Amazon Music. So those are the three biggest ones that I can get it onto right now. And I can't think of anybody else that I've talked to that listens to podcasts through some other format. So that's where it is right now.
Well, now what you've got to do, you have competition.
Okay.
You've got to get out there a little bit, because Lyle Russell's been out there with Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, now Lyle knows about all kinds. Lyle is a guest. 100% Lyle is good. Although he hosts a podcast too for the city.
Sure.
Tullahoma at Work.
Sure.
He talks to the people who work for the city. So we can throw him a plug there too. But
Right.
Lyle knows all kinds of different different things. It's not competition. He's going to come on and talk about what he does, and I
He
don't do
does
those things.
everything.
I don't do the yeah.
How does he have the time?
Well, he talks about flags. He knows about wildlife
And
rescuing.
they fix birds, they fix hurt birds, and he knows every tree in the world,
Yep, absolutely.
and is probably one of the best informational officers for the city we've had in a long, long time.
yeah.
So we need to do that. We need
So
to get
between
you,
him and me, we got everything covered.
with you and Lyle, it's
That's
all
not competition;
done,
it's
isn't it?
comprehension.
It's all done. So what I want you to do, there it is right there, podcast available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music,
And it's called Talking Tullahoma.
Talking Tullahoma. So,
And as far as I know, if you search any of those things for Tullahoma,
Yeah.
there's only going to be one other thing that pops up. I think one of the churches has Tullahoma in their title.
right.
But that was the only thing that I found when I was naming the podcast and putting it up. And I figured there are people who don't even live in town anymore who might want to listen to what's happening in Tullahoma.
Well, when we started streaming our stuff on YouTube and our Facebook page, it's amazing how many people across the country, because of Arnold Center and the Space Institute, people
Right.
from all over the world, if they're not living here right now, they pass through it sometime for work. It might have been for 2 years, 6 months, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're in California, they're in New York, they're somewhere around the world, and they can keep up with what's going on in Tullahoma
Absolutely.
by going on the internet.
Yeah.
And so it's great for all of us. And we just want to make sure that you get all the exposure that you need.
I appreciate it. I've done this. I did this before. I worked for a little while in San Diego. In fact, I worked for a few years in San Diego, and I put together a great big theater festival while I was out there. And I worked for one of the bigger theater companies that had kind of an online magazine called
Right.
the San Diego Theater Scene. So back then, I'd already tested out this whole podcast format with the San Diego Theater Scene Follow Spot podcast.
Right.
And I learned a lot during that.
Right.
So I'm bringing sort of all of the things that I was doing for LightTube previously, bringing all those different shows except for cooking. Haven't figured out how to get that onto a podcast yet. And then the experience from the Theater Scene podcast to get this all out there. So hopefully we will get that exposure, and hopefully people want to hear.
Right.
The ones that really took off though so far were the ones that talked about city business when they did the property tax increase.
Right.
And people wanted to hear from the mayor about that. They
Right.
wanted to hear from an alderman about why are you voting for that. And we don't always have big news stories in Tullahoma with that kind of interest. But that helped drive people to those first podcasts. So I'm hoping that they will find it and stick with it and want to know even more about even day-to-day things.
Right, right. Well, we're just glad to have you here,
Well, I appreciate it.
and know that you're welcome anytime.
Well, I appreciate that as well.
And I want to make sure that we have what you're doing on Channel 6.
We do. Like
At
I said,
some point.
You will see the video version of that podcast on, I think it's, like I said, I think it's 5:30 on Channel 6.
Okay, every day?
I think so. It's a weekly podcast, but I believe it's in reruns every day at 5:30. So if you don't see it on a Tuesday or
You see it on a Wednesday.
yeah, you don't see it on Monday because the board meeting, the Tullahoma board meeting, then well, you can watch it on a
for
Tuesday
sure.
night. Yeah.
For sure. Thank you, dear.
All right, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, girl.
Absolutely, thank you.
Kelly Blatimsky, the finest, one of the finest we got right here. So if you don't know her, go on that podcast and find out just how good this girl is at what she does. And we'll have her back again. They no telling, we might get that cooking show jazzed back up. You know, I'm reading a story right now, a book about Cajuns, which my father was from South Louisiana, with a lot of recipes in it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yo garanti, those are some good recipes.
Yeah. Bon roulette.
Yeah.
Let the good times roll, baby. So we might do a little cooking together, huh?
Well, you know, I took a little
That'd be good.
Louisiana,
That'd be fun,
so that would
wouldn't
be fun.
It would be great fun.
You brought up steel
I'll do
magnolias.
it.
We
We'll
did
do
the
it.
shrimp
We'll get
meat
it.
pies.
We'll get it hot in the pot, baby. We'll be back after this, folks.